Welcome to Finding Monster Rights, the show about finding monsters, right?
Right.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Allie from the Black apartment. I'm Allie from the Black apartment.
And it's a 2020 C, when we are ready to talk June-uary 3D.
Oh god, Adam, you can't rhyme this quickly.
Yeah, June-uary is our annual celebration of sea creatures and water-based beings.
Mm-hmm.
Creatures from the depths. So, what better occasion to talk about Drip from the Black Lagoon? Clothesmake the Gill-Man.
Yeah, we've done June-uary, I think, every year that we've been podcasting. It started out with something that my Grammy said, that when it's warm in January, it's called June-uary. And that's the origin. That's a little trivia. Tom, add that to the wiki, please. Thank you.
Yes, we've done some great explorations, and our naming sequence matches Jaws. So, of course, this one's about 3D.
Yes, so this is June-uary 3D.
Fortunately, there's a lot of wonderful 3D water-based movies to discuss.
And one of the very first of them was 1954's Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yes, a great celebration of, like, kind of... It was the fad from, 70 years ago that it's like, oh yeah, movies can be 3D. And this was the most famous of that lot.
Yeah.
It's fun how, like, history repeats itself. That happened again, like, in the 2010s.
It is, yeah. Well, that's 50 years later. Or 60, or I don't know, numbers. The first movie came out in 54, and then was followed by 2 sequels in 55 and 56.
Now, I'm more familiar with the first one than the latter two. I understand that you watched a bunch of them for the ep.
I watched all 3. So I can tell you that the latter 2 of these movies, people think the phrase complete and utter bullshit is negative. But bullshit can fertilize the soil and make the crops grow. So when I say that the final 2 Creature from the Black Lagoon movies are complete and utter bullshit, I mean it lovingly.
Yeah, when I think of... Before I, like, had the context for it, when I was younger, very young, I thought the phrase bullshit, like, meant, like... like, bouncy shit.
Bouncy?
Like, imagine something wacky happening with a bunch of garbage.
Okay, so you would just, like, see, something, like, wacky and cartoonish going on, and...
I wasn't like, that's a cow pie. I'm like, when someone says, that's bullshit, I mean, like, like, this is cockadoodle-doo crazy. Bullshit
is zany, not bullshit is... Yeah, okay, I see.
Yeah.
One of the earliest running jokes from my D&D days is wacky magic bullshit.
And it sounds like that's what the latter Gill-Man movies are about.
Yeah, well, let's walk through the plot of all 3 movies really quick.
Yes.
There's not much to it, so I'll go quickly. So, the first movie starts with the discovery of a fossilized hand in the Amazon,
and they lob it off and take it to the lab.
Yeah, pretty much. They take it back, and then, like, there's they go back to the fossil site and they talk about some stuff.
What's special about the hand?
The hand is human shaped, except it has claws and webbing in between it. Now, taphonomically, they also say that it's Devonian in age. Let's just get started right away with seatbelts, everyone. So, the Devonian period. We're looking at around, like, late 300 million years ago? 300, 400 or so?
Yeah.
And on a hunch, I looked at the paleobiology database for Devonian fossils found in the Amazon. And there were 28 total occurrences.
Oh, okay. Were they webbed hands?
None of them were. Well, one of them was uncertain osteichthyon, so I can't say no. But an osteichthyon is just a bony fish, so like we don't know that technically didn't have hands.
Yeah, I suppose.
But for reference, I also found about 30 occurrences between Scranton and Binghamton. So not a lot of Devonian fossils in the Amazon.
I see.
How far is the distance from Scranton to Binghamton, would you say?
I've driven that before. An hour and a half, maybe?
Okay.
An hour?
Yeah, so not a lot of... compared to the Amazon rainforest, which is larger than the whole state several times over.
It's not very dense.
Yeah.
It's not dripping with Devonian fossils.
No. So during the Devonian, the Amazon rainforest, which they say in the movie, they're like, the Amazon rainforest has been around for 150 million years, all the way back to the Devonian era. Well, that sounds like the beginning of time. It was. And I'm like, 150 million years ago was the Jurassic period, which was, and that's like, you're about 300 million years off. What do you mean by the beginning of time? Like, back then there were anteaters that could hug a bear just like there are today, and rats the size of sheep. And I was like, back then there, like, life was just starting to crawl out of land. What do you mean there were anteaters? There weren't even ants.
Maybe they found a fossil of a sundial, and they're like, yes, back when time began.
I guess. But anyway, the Amazon rainforest in the Devonian period was at the South Pole and covered in seawater.
Mm-hmm.
So, not a rainforest.
Not the Amazon.
No. But what was a little more akin to today's Amazon rainforest, or kind of like today's Florida, where this movie was clearly filmed. Did the clips in this movie look like they were taking place in the Amazon, or did they look like Florida to you?
I had Florida vibes.
Okay.
Like, every water shot, I'm like, I expected the bayou boat to drive by.
Yeah, I mean, there were, like, alligators and garves in the movie, so it did seem pretty specifically not Amazonian. But anyway, what was more like the Amazon is Devonian, Pennsylvania. Adam, are you familiar with Hyneria?
That's where Conan the Barbarian's from, right?
Yeah. All right, well, that's it for...
Now, please tell me more.
So, Hyneria was a lobe-finned fish that was about 3 meters long. It was an apex predator that inhabited freshwater ecosystems. And there is some speculation, and this was depicted in Walking with Monsters, which is a very speculative whole franchise, that it could, in the Walking with Monsters documentary, like, they showed it, like, going after these hynerpeton amphibian kind of creatures, like a killer whale after a seal, and then just kind of like pulling itself with its fins on land a bit.
Yes, I'm seeing a clip of that right here.
Yeah. So, hynerpeton, that amphibian, that like basal tetrapod in between fish and man, was discovered by one of my professors at Drexel, Dr. Edward B. Deschler, because Edward B. Deschler. He goes by Ted normally. But Ted once took me and my class on like a little weekend trip off to a site in Red Hill, and I have a couple fossils from that still in my parents' house somewhere. I think my brother Matt has a Hyneria tooth on his desk.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. So the creature from the Black Lagoon kind of was real. It was a lobe-finned fish, so like more like a coelacanth. Mm-hmm. It was more closely related to man than any fish alive today. That's actually true.
That is I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, and I'd fuck that. This concludes Seatbelt, everyone.
I didn't know we're going there that fast.
Yeah, no, as I intimated, nothing... I don't know if this was accurate for the time, but I can assure you that nothing the scientists said over the course of this whole movie made any fucking sense to me.
Yeah, good sources and well proven.
Yeah. So, anyway, they...
Can I take my seatbelt off?
Yes, you can take your seatbelt off.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. So, the movie just kind of goes on with, like, something mysterious is happening, / nothing in particular is happening. then, like, eventually they're like, it's some kind of Gill-Man. And I'm like, there's only 30 minutes left in the movie. And, like,
yeah.
we're like 75% of the way done, and it's like, I think there might be a Gill-Man in the water. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
I think I knew that from the first fossil.
Right? Yeah. Well, like, also there's the first fossil, and then, like, a hand that looks just like the fossil hand comes out of the water and, like, grabs... Immediately afterwards, like 5 minutes into the movie. So you know there's a Gill-Man, but it takes them an additional 55 minutes to figure it out. And, like, get ready, if you want to watch Creature from the Black Lagoon, get ready for a lot of these 3 notes. Because, like, anytime the Gill-Man does anything, it's like...
I watched, I wasn't able to watch the full film, but I watched, like, all the clips, like, the 10 or so clips on YouTube of, like, this is the movie in a nutshell. And the fact that means that the 30 minutes or so of the film I watched were, like, all at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Because each one of them just started the Gill-Man flopping around. I'm like, damn, he did this for an hour and a half?
Just be flopping, and it's like, dun dun dun! Hey, so I think I need to go out and buy some hot dogs. Dun dun dun! Like anything he does.
Yeah, maybe the Devon era that he's from, they hadn't invented all the notes yet.
Possibly. So, blah blah blah, he kills some people. There's one guy who, like, wants to, like, the only characters I remember are token woman and token Hispanic person. Because they were the only people who were different from anyone else in the whole movie. That and extra white guy, who is, unlike the other white guys, blonde, but also more evil.
I think most of the men actors in the film were named Richard, too. just to double down on that whiteness.
Yeah, when we talk about diversity in film, what we really mean is there need to be fewer Richards.
Yeah. Less dicks in the picture.
Less dick pics, please. So anyway, the blonde Richard, whose name is Dr. Mark something. Don't really remember that part. A lot of these people
Williams. More. He took a white name and added an S.
Oh, great, good. So, anybody can be named William.
I suppose.
Well, William Shakespeare. I guess, I don't know, have white people claimed the name William? We do have Shakespeare.
Irish people have a good use for it.
That's white.
Yes. So I agree.
Anyway, also Captain Lucas. He was great. He was great because he would just be like, there's a legend in the Amazon, and they do this. And it's like, oh, well, we can use this powder made from roots that the natives use to stun fish for fishing. And that's pretty wild. And then it's like, we're staying in the Black Lagoon until we kill this thing. And he just, like, pulls a knife on the whitest white guy. And he's like, hey, I'm still captain. Like, that guy rules. Big fan of him.
Did he have a captain hat and a big mustache?
He did.
Oh yeah. I only saw like one non-speaking clip of him at the end. And I'm just like, man, I want this guy's movie. I'm glad I identified the best character.
Yeah. He's the only character who shows up again in the second movie, and that is the correct choice. He's the best character. But anyway, the whitest white guy, Dr. Mark, is like, he's like the great white hunter archetype. And so he's...
Yeah, you're Ahab.
Yeah. Yes, very Ahab-y. Ahab, kind of Gaston, maybe a little bit.
Ooh, okay. Proto-Gaston in 54.
Yeah. He wants to kill the Gill-Man, and everybody else is like, we already have, like, a claw that came off, and we already have, like, we've observed it in its habitat doing stuff before. I tried to get a picture, but we didn't get a picture. That's fine. Maybe we can still try and get a picture or not. I don't care. But, like, we're good. We could fully go. We have enough to establish a type specimen. We can just get out of here. And he's like, no, I want to kill it and put it in a big jar or something. And they're all like, you're crazy. And it's like, I am in charge of... It's like, my money is funding the whole institute. So, like, we're doing what I do. And they're like, that's true, but I don't like it. Like, almost everybody ends up dying except one of the cool scientists, another one of the cool scientists.
What made them cool scientists?
They were just like, when I say cool, I mean they were just kind of normal. They were still like 50s.
Oh.
They were still like 50s guys, so they were still kind of like, we find this like tent that's been torn apart by the creature, and it's like, don't let Kay see anything. And I was like, oh, God forbid a woman see blood.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Gill-Man unwillingly takes Kay, the female character in the movie, the only one, back to his little cave, and then they shoot at him until he leaves, and the day is saved.
Mm-hmm. He pisses off.
Yeah. Now, both Guillermo del Toro and, as we discovered in prep for this episode, Marilyn Monroe.
Yes.
They both said, like, ever since I saw the creature from the Black Lagoon, I wanted to see him, just kind of get along with the girl at the end of the movie. Because, it seems like this is Guillermo Monroe, everybody.
I love the image of Guillermo del Toro on the steam vent right after that.
I don't.
But instead of like adjusting his dress, he's like lifted up like fizzy lifting drink.
Oh, that sounds right, actually.
He's like, what is this buoyancy?
Marilyn Monroe, like, in a house full of, like, weird creature props and stuff, like Guillermo del Toro on that one episode of Conan. That actually feels right somehow.
Yeah, I think she had a lot of jars. Speaking from no reference.
Marilyn Monroe should have been a millennial. I feel like she could have really crushed it in Shape of Water.
I disagree.
But anyway, what throws me off, because I went into this movie expecting, like, oh, everybody says that the Gill-Man is just wants a lady like any fella. And it's like, that's not the vibe I got. First off, I didn't see it that way because the human was clearly not willing. So that gave me some icky feelings.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
some icky feelings.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was thinking about how to do that. But maybe it's not romance.
Oh, you think it's one-sided?
I think intelligent animals, like social kind of intelligent creatures, they kind of have favorite people. Like, for example, my one friend has a cat named Gracie Gray, and Gracie Gray loves me, and she's blind, like kind of older cat, and like when I'm like on the ground at my friend's place, like she always comes and boops my nose with her nose. And like one time I was just laying down and I had a horrible headache, and she just like came up like right next to my head and sat down and started purring, and then I swear my headache felt better.
Yeah, no, that's some healing powers.
Just the frequency of it is good for pressure headaches like that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Gracie is my best friend. Krieg is my other friend's cat. Krieg does not like me. And I'm willing to respect that. Like, they're always like, oh, just like kind of go up to him and like offer him your hand and like just kind of hang out. He'll get used to you and you can pet him and stuff. And I was like, I don't need to. Contrary to like, I'm perfectly fine just, like, letting this animal that doesn't want to hang out with me just kind of alone, and then, like, let him come to me, maybe, or not. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't have a lot riding on whether or not this cat is my best friend.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So I kind of, like, morph, just like how, like, I treat different people differently, I treat different cats differently. That's what I'm saying. Which, I don't know if that comes as a shock to you, Adam, that I actually am capable of treating an animal like an animal, because Alex's cat, Grace, is a very friendly cat. She's basically a stuffed animal, and she is my best friend.
Yes. No, she's a dog of cats.
She really is.
Yeah, so that is our pass through the first Creature of the Black Lagoon. Tell me what the sequels hold.
So the sequels, going back with 2 and 3 very quickly. The first movie ends with him like getting shot and sinking into the Black Lagoon.
Yep.
The second movie starts with like he's still alive. He survived the gunshots.
Mm-hmm.
And the captain from the first movie comes back with the new crew and spends like way too long looking for the Gill-Man and not seeing the Gill-Man and eventually catching the Gill-Man. And they take him to...
I'm getting some Jaws flashbacks here in all these stories.
Yes, but Jaws actually has good pacing and real characters.
Oh, yeah, of course.
No, the second movie is just absolute. It's not great. So, they capture the Gill-Man and they take him to Florida to be in like this oceanarium, which is basically SeaWorld. They put him in like one of those tanks. We talked about this like ages and ages ago. Like one of those tanks in an aquarium where it's just like every fish in the world. We're just going to throw in this one tank and hope they don't all eat each other.
Yeah, cross our fingers.
Cross our fish sticks.
Hope the one fin snapping turtle doesn't pick up some eels.
Right, there actually is a sea turtle in that tank, along with like sharks and barracuda and like a million little fish. And it's like, what do you expect to happen when you put all the and the creature from the Black Lagoon? Like, whatever. But
it's like I haven't run a zoo before, but I have played Zoo Tycoon. And I know when you mix up too many of these, a little dust cloud forms, and eventually there's only one left.
Yeah, you don't just put like a bunch of lions and also some like pandas and a crocodile and a rabbit in a cage and hope for the best. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so he's at SeaWorld, and
he got it. He's been captured. He's living amongst the glass. They basically King Konged him, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, and they keep, just like in Shape of Water, and I noticed this re-listening to that episode earlier, they keep stabbing him with cattle prods and being like, we're doing this for science. Isn't this great science we're doing? We're doing such great science, just stabbing him with a cattle prod and not really explaining why that's science.
Yeah, I get why in the Truth from Black Lagoon movie, they're doing that. I don't know why they kept that in Shape of Water.
Well, also he's like doing experiments of like, the main scientist guy is doing experiments that are like, this baby chimpanzee, we put him in clothes. His name is Nathaniel, and he and me and this lady scientist, we're like a fucked up weird family. This is normal in how animals are studied in real life. Also, chimpanzees are the cute monkeys and not the ones that rip your face off. Also, over here we have an experiment where we put a bunch of cats and mice in a cage. How's it going, Dr. Clint Eastwood? And Dr. Clint Eastwood is like, fine, bub, this is my first movie. I have a mouse in my pocket. Whoops, put that back. And the experiment is... question mark? I don't know what the point of that experiment was.
Okay, it's inconclusive.
Yeah, so the creature from the Black Lagoon breaks out of the SeaWorld tank, and he just, like, attacks a Margaritaville. And it's not a Margaritaville, but it's a Margaritaville. And he steals a woman... And the guy gets her back, and they fight a bit, and it drags a really long time, like another 30 minutes of just chasing the fucking creature from the Black Lagoon, and then the movie's over, and with the exact same shot as the first movie. So it's like you didn't have to have this whole thing.
Oh wait, so it's like a removable sequel, is what you're saying?
Yes. Third movie.
Okay. Yep.
Third movie. An expedition goes into the far-off mystical jungle land of Florida, where the creature from the Black Lagoon is currently living.
I see.
There's a horrible man and his wife, who is nice, but also just shoots sharks for no fucking reason. Yeah, they capture the creature from the Black Lagoon, and they render him unconscious by covering him in gasoline when he's above the water, and then lighting him on fire. They recover...
Oh, jeez.
They recover his body, and he's comatose. They wrap him up in bandages, and then when they take the bandages off, they discover that he has a fully functional lung system in his chest. So they just, like, do reconstructive surgery to make the lungs work. And then when they pull the bandages off, they find that he also has, like, a human-like skin now.
Oh.
And the bad scientist guy who abuses his wife and is a horrible person is just like, this is good for science. Mankind is between the jungle and the stars, and we must learn from the creature from the Black Lagoon so we can go to space. And it's like, we've been to space. No. But we'll go to space and be the creatures from the Black Lagoon, so man can survive on other planets. And we will.
They were talking about that a lot, the first movie. It's the adaptability, I guess, is what they're trying to keen in on.
Yeah.
Like, they're really focused on the word amphibian.
Yeah. So, the whole movie, like, is just the creature from the Black Lagoon is at this fucking compound on this guy's mansion in California. And they're pretty much just like, is he human or is he not? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's a fish guy. You should be asking if he's a person or not. And he just turns into like a Frankenstein knockoff. Like, he's not very aquatic. He's more sympathetic in the third movie. Like the second movie.
Does he grow larger than the Golden Gate Bridge as he is in the poster?
No.
Okay.
No, he does not grow gigantic. He just turns into kind of a person, but gross. And they put him in a pen with a bunch of sheep and goats. He kills a mountain lion. He kills a bunch of people. No, actually, he doesn't kill a bunch of people. He only kills the bad guy. And then the movie's over, and he escapes and he walks into the sea, but he's probably going to drown, because they've shown before that in the human-esque form, he, like, jumped out of the boat and into the water and tried to breathe, and the water went into his lungs, and he almost died.
Yeah, so basically, he has been forever changed and can't survive in the way that he was able to before.
Yeah. And also, how far are we into the episode? Pretty far, but...
Halfway.
Let's talk about the title of this episode, Drip from the Black Lagoon. Clothes make the Gill-Man. Our idea was, basically, if the Gill-Man just had clothes, he would be acceptable in society.
Is that the case?
Okay, so the Black Lagoon sequels are so bad that our goofy monster show, where we give Godzilla an apartment, and we read Bigfoot erotic fan fiction, and we talk about Cerberus at a dog show. The Black Lagoon 3 is literally just, let's give the Gill-Man clothes and see if he fits into society. Which was the premise for our episode, so Adam, we're shit out of luck, my friends.
Oh no.
This movie was so bad that it's actually the plot of a real Finding Monster Right episode. Literally it's like, well, he has human skin now, why don't you sew him some clothes? And I was like, fuck.
Shit.
We are up shit lagoon without a paddle, my guys.
Yeah. That
Little
sounds,
monsters, your I was gonna say mom and dad. Your mom and mom's cousin are in a bit of a pickle.
I see that we are pretty heavily covered here. You know, I didn't look much into the sequels because they really capitalized on the name The Creature.
It is really...
Which ain't great, I gotta say.
I mean, it's called the Gill-Man. That's what he's called.
Yeah, the Gill-Man. And in the vocabulary of our show and, like, I don't know, like D&D in general, creature just means, like, everything.
Right, yeah, it's just a word.
It's the category for a living being. If it says the being walks among us, like, that is equally bad.
The entity does a thing. It's like, wow, groundbreaking.
Walks among us is also a very muted, like, tagline.
Among us.
Like, he's not even running, he's not terrorizing, he's just walking.
He really is, yeah. Like, it should be like the end of Ex Machina, where it's like, that's the creature walks among us.
Right, agreed.
He should be, like, indistinguishable from a person and just, like, walking around like, ooh, spooky.
Now, I have to, grasping onto our premise with dear life, was the choice of outfits that they had for him, do you think that made the difference?
That is a good point. No, it's basically just scrubs.
Oh, yeah, we might be able to do better than that.
What if he's a doctor?
Okay.
I can't do this all on my own. No, I know. I'm Amphibian Man.
Yeah, a little monster rehab.
Yeah.
Instead of just, like, Frankenstein him up, slapping some clothes on him and telling him to get out in the world, let's find a home for him, a place where his outfit might lead to an occupation as in a hospital setting. Hospital setting, very high stress, lots of activity, lots of drama, and intimate knowledge of the human body is required.
Okay, so all this is bad. I'm also going to throw in there, I think he might still be a little bit wet, even with the human skin.
Ooh,
That feels bad for, like, zoonotic diseases and stuff.
It's like one of those, what do you call it? It's like that sexist premise where it's like, oh man, I want a man doctor no matter what. And the Gill-Man is like the option, and he's like doing open heart surgery, like dripping in there.
Oh God.
I feel like if he cracked open a human body, he would start snacking on it.
Doctor, I can't operate on this child. He's my son.
Brief aside here. The design of the Gill-Man.
Yeah.
Like, one of the top 10, like, monster designs of all time, right?
Okay, but, well, yes.
He's kind of like he's got almost like a chitney type look to him. He's got, like, these plates, but there's totally room for a person under there, but they just have attached so many fishy features that, like, it's pretty, like, damn hidden.
Yeah. He's got that, it's got, like, that, like, raggedy kind of long dorsal fin, and, like, it also goes down the legs. I think that's a cool move. It's not anything that any fish has, but, like, it is neat looking. And he does kind of have, like, the chest and back scales that are kind of, like, it's not like he has, like, a belly, like an alligator, you know, and, like, a thing on the back, because looks adapted to a 3D environment, and that's really cool. And he does kind of have, like, they do kind of look like chitin plates.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing. And I think if we're, like, talking about, you know, from the bottom up, finding an outfit for him, like, maybe, like, it's a less is more situation.
I think where they went wrong is the human skin part.
Yeah, I think there's something here to be embraced in what he looks like.
Real quick, look up Gill-Man, or, like, Creature Walks Among Us Gill-Man.
Alright. It takes a little bit to type in this horrible title.
All these movie titles are way too long and hard to type.
Yeah, The Creature Walks Among Us. Okay. Also, back to back to back. This was 56.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Is that...
It's terrible, right? He looks so bad.
Yeah. He looks like he belongs in, like, a sitcom, like, Monster Family. Like, he's like one of the monsters.
Literally, one of the... Wasn't he on the Addams Family? There was... There was a Gill-Man on the Addams Family. Hold on.
Uncle Gilbert.
Yeah, Uncle...
On the Munsters, not the Addams Family.
Oh, they're so easy to confuse. I gotta watch one of them, so I can get them fucking straight. That was a rejected Finding Monster Right premise, right? Was like, why the Munsters and the Addams Family? Why are they the same?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think there's just an eloquence that we don't have to express that. I will say, the top image of Uncle Gilbert is a lot of what we're talking about here.
Yeah, he's got the original, much more charismatic looking Gill-Man look. I think if he's just true to himself, he looks a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got like a hat and a very smart scarf and jacket combo.
Mm-hmm. Underneath the scarf and jacket, he's just got a pretty dapper suit on too, looking at a couple of these other pictures.
Absolutely lovely.
And I think they have to be tailor-made in a certain way, because his giant webbed hands are still, like, you know, visible.
I have to go to the tailor. Dun dun dun!
And his feet, they're really capitalizing on the fact that, like, you know, his best features.
Yeah. It doesn't show off that cool, Interesting. Okay, this appears to be, in my fucking DuckDuckGo results, this appears to be one of those bad dragons that I've heard so much about. That is a creature from the Black Lagoon dildo. So I'm gonna...
Oh!
I just typed in Uncle Gilbert. I typed in literally nothing else.
Yeah. That is different than my Google results.
I mean... Well, yeah, but you're getting fucking tracked by the man, and I found a sweet new place for all my monster dildo needs. I really seem like I should already have bought many things from Bad Dragon. I really haven't.
So, the Uncle Gilbert Munsters action figure looks, I think, the sharpest of all the looks. If you're seeing that in your listings, it's like a tan suit and hat and a white scarf.
Yeah. He looks exactly like Obama in that tan suit. Exactly like Barack Obama. Just exactly like Barack Obama's the thing. Like, he's actually a Secret Service risk because he looks too much like Barack Obama. One time he was at a party and like Michelle Obama came up to him and she was like, "Hey, sweetie," and he was like, "Oh, no, I'm not your husband." And she was like, "Oh my gosh, from the back I could almost not tell you apart. It's me, Michelle Obama. I'm very strong and eat vegetables." That's okay. It happens all the time.
So
it wouldn't be so much of a problem if I didn't look exactly like Obama. And
I just like this image, and then right beneath it's like 44th president of the United States.
Joe Biden actually just the other day put out he tweeted out that he was just like going out by the Potomac just to think about stuff, and he was like, "Barry, I could really use some advice about all this presidenting business." And it was like, "Oh no, I'm sorry, that's not Barack Obama, it's actually me, Uncle Gilbert." I know it's easy to tell us apart.
I don't know if Uncle Gilbert like talks either, so it's
well, this one does. In my rich fictional world that I'm building.
That's fine. So, a little bit about Uncle Gilbert for you.
Mm-hmm.
He once sent the Munsters family $1,800.
That's a lot in old-timey times money.
I'm sorry, $180,000.
That's way more in old-timey times money.
Yeah. Unlike the Gill-Man, he could talk, so that's my mistake. And according to Herman, he used to be a politician.
Yes! I was right!
His wealth is mostly attributed to salvaging lost treasures in the sea.
All he needs to be respected by society is a suit, and he can use his perfect resemblance to Barack Obama.
Ironically, both from Hawaii.
Oh, that's true. Well, if he was born in Brazil, then that one... What if he's a failed clone of Hitler? What if he's one of the boys from Brazil that was rejected? Ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny and all that, something or other. Bad science here.
To your point, he couldn't actually be from the Amazon. He had to be from the United States. So he's probably from Florida, actually Florida.
That makes sense. That's a place where uncles come from, I feel.
And that's also a place that would elect monsters.
Literally, my parents had their honeymoon in the Keys, and your parents also had their honeymoon in the Keys, so both of us understand that uncles come from Florida.
I think my parents honeymooned in Hawaii.
Oh, is that right? Why am I thinking Keys? Don't they go there a lot?
They've been to the Keys.
Well, your dad was telling me about all the megalodon teeth that he's found on his underwater expeditions because he's a fucking Gill-Man. My Uncle Jim is a Gill-Man. I will die on this hill. Adam is a Shape of Water baby.
Man, every one of these pictures of Uncle Gilbert looks more and more like dapper than the last.
He's a dapper gentleman, and he was the 44th president of the United States. Show him some respect. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. That was Obama. It's so easy to get them confused.
So, to the creature walks among us, dressing up like fucking Frankenstein is a no-go.
No.
That's a non-starter. You gotta put him in an actual suit, slap a jacket on him.
This jacket scarf.
Accessorize, and he fucking, owns it.
Yeah. I bet even the original creature from the Black Lagoon could learn human language given enough time. Literally in Shape of Water, he learned sign language. That's a human language.
It is.
Yeah.
He has to learn it. Amazonian sign language. Yeah, to pull it off.
Yeah, this I think all works. So, seeing this guy hunt down this monster in this river, let's say.
Yeah.
Really got me thinking about if this movie takes place in 1954, or maybe a little bit later, when was Jeremy Wade born? Jeremy Wade was born in 1956. I think that one of these guys, maybe he's the son of the hunter guy, or maybe the son of the two people, the Hollywood breeding pair who survived the expedition. I think the crocodile hunter collision course finale for River Monsters is Jeremy Wade versus the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Now that's something I'd tune in for. It goes beyond his usual I don't know, I'm just gonna fish out here for way too fucking long and catch something real big into now the fish fight back.
Yes.
And it's the creature from Black Lagoon flipping his ship He's underwater, swimming next to him.
Okay, for those of you who don't know, Jeremy Wade is the host of River Monsters, the most self-serious and needlessly high-stakes fishing show that's ever been put to film.
Starring a guy named Wade.
It's very appropriate, yeah.
He has a rich British voice.
I am the river. My surface gives you life. Below is death.
I'm Jeremy Wade. I'm here in the Amazon, hunting down a mysterious Gill-Man creature who's said to eat people's genitals. That comes up a lot on the show.
I don't know about you, but the clips that I heard, like, he had a very dinosaur design to his sounds.
Kind of does. Well, it's kind of like a grunter, like or like a croaker, like one of those fish that you pull up and they make a sound.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You know how sometimes Bear Grylls goes into the wild with like a celebrity? Crocodile Hunter Collision Course featured a cameo from then President George W. Bush.
So Bear Grylls recruits past presidents Barack Obama, but the Uncle Gilbert shows up.
Yes, Jeremy Wade brings Barack Obama on this fishing trip to film an episode, and chaos and mystery and intrigue ensues when it's revealed that the river monster du jour looks exactly like Barack Obama.
Which one do I shoot?
Which one do I fish? He just is like waving a fishing rod between them. Which one do I hook?
That process is really funny, because then if he does hook him, it's like a long, slow, quiet battle that has to ensue.
Now listen, I understand that this is a complicated decision. We do look almost exactly alike. I can assure you I'm the real Barack Obama, but I expect my counterpart will say something nearly identical. I trust your judgment, and I trust you to employ the best reason that you can in this very stressful situation. Now, do you have anything to say in your defense? I still can't tell! You see the Crocodile Hunter Collision Course? It's literally the Crocodile Hunter, like, a satellite crashes down into a swamp in Australia, and a crocodile eats it, and Steve Irwin rescues the crocodile because he's relocating it to someplace far from where people live. And meanwhile, the CIA is trying to track down this crashed satellite, and so they think that he's trying to smuggle the satellite, and he thinks that they're poachers. It's such a good movie.
That's fucking awesome.
It's so good. Oh, that's a June-uary.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're full for this year, but
no, for sure. Well, June-uary the Revenge, it's coming.
Oh yeah. It also features a the Baja Men doing a cover of Crocodile Rock, and it's maybe the worst cover of any song I've ever heard, but God, is it good.
Well, that's one of those where it's like the title is all that they paid for.
Right, yeah.
Like the actual performance of the song, we're like, no, Baja, Crocodile, we got it.
Yeah. What else is there in this movie? There's one scene where Kay comes up from below deck, and she just says the following, and I'll splice this in.
Thought I'd come up and get some air.
She says air. Like
she's taking a bite of an apple.
She's just, like, taking a bite out of, like, some sweet old granny's apple pie. Like, she just got real Arkansas real quick for no particular reason.
She did, like, that's not like an Australian, like, no.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
yeah, people keep saying it's nor. Like, that's not how they say
no?
It's no, it's nayo. No?
Yeah, you stick an A in there.
Yeah, you gotta throw in, like, 3 or 4 more syllables, but it doesn't end in R. Australians don't end things in R. It's not a rhotic accent. We should ask Jackson about this. We need to have Jackson back on. He's not busy, right?
Oh, yeah, no, he ain't doing nothing.
No, he's like our best friend, and we talk to him every day.
Yeah. So, are you ready to escort the Gill-Man to the final rating place?
Yes, I am.
All right. I think we've talked about his design is A+.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Gill-Man represents something that's very base in human instinct. The fear of the unknown. Was it thalassophobia?
Oh, yeah.
Fear of, like, the dark water and what's underneath there.
Mm.
And I think that's part of what kind of pushed it along so strongly, and why it was so beloved in the era that it came out in. And I think the design is so unique. That's why he's often, despite having a pretty lame story, and like being rarely like ever adapted, Shape of the Water being the major exception, why he's still like in the the visual lineup of Hollywood monsters.
Yeah,
he's very timeless in appearance. I think less so in story. For me, that's going to be a solid 9.1.
I mean, he is a strange, weird, different monster, and you have to go into some jungle where kookaburras live, because the kookaburras live apparently in every jungle on or under or outside of Earth. Yeah, you go in there and like some monster tries to take a white woman, and everybody gets out, and the monster dies. It seems like it's a plot that's been done before. It's King Kong, but less exciting. It's like a million other things, and like we said, Marilyn Monroe, seconds before inventing sexuality for every baby boomer in the world and doing that thing where she stands over a subway vent and pulls her dress down, or whatever. Like, seconds before that, she's talking about how the Gill-Man got a bad rap, or whatever.
Yeah, literal sections. People don't know this. I think this is one of our most important discoveries, or what was it, most important PSAs of our program.
Marilyn Monroe. I am basically Marilyn Monroe.
Monroe stands Gill-Man.
Monroe stands Gill-Man.
Didn't you just love the picture? I did. But I just felt so sorry for the creature at the end.
Sorry for the creature? Why'd you want him to marry the girl?
He was kind of scary looking, but he wasn't really all bad. I think he just craved a little affection. You know, a sense of being loved and needed and wanted.
That's a very interesting point of view.
Oh, do you feel the breeze from the subway?
All right. So, honestly, I'm torn, because you don't see that level of appreciation. Like, a movie about fucking King Kong didn't win an Oscar, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe this is an improvement on the formula. But it's not... I feel like it's just been handled badly in the past. If you've seen Shape of Water, and you've heard these 3 notes, you don't have to go see Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, I would not recommend turning back if you have seen something so modern.
Definitely skip the sequels. The first one's pretty okay.
Mm-hmm.
The pacing's bad. I had to watch a lot of it at 1.25 speed.
I think I would definitely... the only occasion that I would see it is in the classic occasion that a lot of people did, which is the drive-in 3D movie.
Yeah.
I think it probably matches that a lot better. It's kind of like how Gravity from 10 years ago was really like you've got to see it in a theater, a big-ass theater, otherwise you're not going to enjoy it.
I saw Gravity at home. I did not enjoy it, so yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And I'm sure they're saying more about Avatar and the like.
I feel bad about that. People really like Creature from the Black Lagoon. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like, it's all this technology in it. Oh, my brain is so fast-paced, it's literally changing the way we think. These movies from the past, they're not good anymore because of technology. It's all these bloody phones in it. I'm gonna put myself in a bisexual computer until Star Trek man tells me that I can't fuck no more.
Every 8 words, you like move to a different part of English.
In it. What's up, Pokemasters?
All right. Well, do you have a final number?
I'm gonna say like a 5.5 out of 10. I never do decimals, but I feel like I gotta.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, 55%.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for him. Maybe my number would be lower if I truly sat down and watched the movie top to bottom, but I appreciate all the science catches. It's not something that usually scratches me as poorly.
I feel like you yourself, You'll be able to tell. I feel like any reasonably educated person will be able to tell that anytime they open their mouth and say the word Devonian, some nonsense is going to spill out. Like, at one point they say, in one of the sequels, they say a number, and it's either 50 million or 15 million, and I was like, either way, you're wrong by hundreds of millions of years, so it doesn't matter. Like, I couldn't tell which one it was, and I was like, literally, who cares?
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us to kick off this wonderful June-uary.
Oh.
Have some fun in the sun with us.
Yeah.
At our Discord.
Yep.
Links in the show notes.
We could really build that Discord up a bit. We gotta promo that more.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Come on down. I posted you can learn all about me and my Christmas adventure that I had. Tom's there. Tom is there.
We're hoping to post more behind the scenes and fun bits and pieces there as well.
Absolutely. Hop on down.
And we're there.
Yeah, we're there. We're posting D&D homebrew. We're just kind of hanging out, having a good old time. It's way better than Twitter ever was, even though it's literally just us and Tom right now. Which, that's great. Tom's got chickens.
Yeah. Join us.
Yeah.
And tune in next time when we go into deeper waters and start swimming with animals that we form large bonds with.
Ooh, very cryptic. That could apply to a lot of things. Oh, there's one last thing. This is 2023. Mm-hmm. So, at the beginning of the holiday season, I found this website where it randomly generates 12 AO3, Archive of Our Own, tags. So, like tags for internet fan fiction that will describe your 12 months of 2023. So, I rolled one up for Finding Monster Right.
Oh, okay.
So, if we check the 2023 monthly themes tab in the Spitballin' document.
I'm looking there.
All right. So, January's theme is, do you want to go ahead and change that to white?
Scarification?
Oh, Christ. It's scarification. I did not check these ahead of time.
What is scarification?
The creation of scars. In a fan fiction sense. So, alright, January's theme is kind of fucked up, kids.
I think we're on track for that with some of our eps so far.
I mean, think about Shape of Water, right? With the
We talked up his skin being undone.
Yeah. The scars in Shape of Water that Eliza has.
Mm-hmm. It's the shooting of bullets inside the Gill-Man.
Mm-hmm.
That leaves some scars.
Probably.
All right, so we'll explore this the rest of this season.
Apparently, yes. This was going to be a fun theme, I promise.
Okay, I can't wait. Until then.